Welcome back everyone, it's Haz here with some more Dragon Quest Monsters guides, and as the majority of you requested from the last channel poll, I'm here to bring you another advanced monster synthesis guide for the powerful A-rank Overkilling Machine. The Overkilling Machine is a very complex, unique synthesis that's part of the famous Killing Machine tree, and it's still not the very end of it, but like I said in my previous Hunter Mech guide, the Killing Machine tree is famous for having the unique trait of having 2 actions to perform per round, and that's combined with their generally high attack and agility stats, allows them to be excellent candidates for an attack-based monster in your party. Another reason this monster is very powerful is that you can acquire it very early with little time investment, as soon as you enter the dungeon in the 3rd world, right after the demo in fact, so incredibly soon as you see, and like you probably noticed, that is why almost every single Japanese player in your online battles have it. It's already part of the early game metaphor now, and I recommend to synthesize this for everyone who would like to have a strong monster this early in the game. Now in this video I will show you how to synthesize the Overkilling Machine, but before I get to explaining it, I have to highly recommend to anyone, if you do not own the Molehole DLC, I can't stress enough how important it is to the game, or rather how convenient it is, considering the Molehole allows you to visit and scout any monsters you owned before, including all the super rare monsters you cannot meet in the wilderness but you synthesized before. This simple DLC dungeon allows you to re-recruit the same unique synthesized monsters you would have to spend hours and hours on, and on the long run will save you, I'm not joking, hundreds of hours possibly if you'll play this game for long. Just this guide alone, as you'll see soon, is a lot more simple if you do own the Molehole DLC, as it allows you to skip or even bypass multiple steps of it. I'm personally not a fan that such an incredible quality of life option is a paid DLC, and despite its affordable price for me, everyone's financial status is different, and I don't think loyal players should be punished this much by not buying a bonus DLC. But as I said, I fully recommend purchasing it if you can, but I will explain the normal route to getting the Overkilling Machine anyway. So last time I made a synthesis guide for the Hunter Mech, I went through each step one by one, as it was a much simpler synthesis overall and it was in the demo, but since then I've seen some other guides online for synthesis, and it made me realize that going through step by step for monster synthesis here is possibly the worst way to create any guide in this game, and instead, I decided to create a unique infographics for synthesizing down your very own Overkilling Machine. In this video, I'll specifically help understanding this graph instead of overcomplicating it with a collection of in-game footages, and we'll go through together what everything means here, though I do hope my graphical skills were good enough to make this process as clear as possible. A full 1080p version of this picture you can download is available on my Twitter, which is linked below, and if you're interested in more of these, definitely follow me there. But let's see what we have over here. The very first thing I'd like to clear is that this synthesis is incredibly long, and so one part of it isn't detailed here, which is the Restless Armor and the Hunter Mech synthesis, as I already have a separate video guide for them, along with another infographic such as this one that is also linked below, but just know that I also have guides for those specific monsters and how you can create them, and they aren't skipped. The second important notice on this picture is that you can see I marked the rank of each monster, or I marked them as unique. This is for the purposes if you own the Molehole DLC, as every single synthesis can be replaced by a similar rank monster if you synthesize it with the appropriate monster family. For example, if you have a C-rank demon and you mix it with a material one, you will get the Maniacal Mole and you can skip the synthesis route. This is why the Molehole DLC is so powerful, because you can use previously caught high-ranking monsters for these synthesis without having to grind at all. On the opposite though, monsters that are marked as unique means that those monsters specifically require the synthesis that you can see on this graph, and the process cannot be skipped. Their parents have to be the exact monsters that you see, and you have to prepare them, so I hope this part is also clear. The rest of the infographics should be pretty understandable, I think. You go from step 1 to step 4 obviously in order, or at least I recommend in that way, and the red line you can see in the background represents the synthesis route that you will take in the process. Like you will combine the Napier and the Bunnycorn and you will get the Spiked Hair, which you will want to mix together with a Feral Slime that also has its own little synthesis guide above it. For basic synthesis such as this one that I marked, only one of the monsters have to be F rank, and the proper monster families that I've also indicated will allow you to synthesize the monster that's shown here. There's not a lot of wild monsters you need to catch for this synthesis overall, and I'm not sure what later zones in the game will allow you to scout, but the ones I know of I have also shown where you can scout them, like the first starting zone for bunnycorns or the second zone for skeletons. That is pretty much everything to know about the infographics in itself and how to use it for yourself, so the only thing that's left that I would want to talk about is leveling your monsters during the synthesis process. If you're still early in the game, I already have a leveling guide available on my channel, which pretty much tells you that the best way to grind experience is to farm the early bosses in the zones, starting with the Cyclops for 1300 experience, and once you can beat the Green Dragon for 2000 experience, both of which will greatly increase your leveling speed, as you can get level 1 monsters to the synthesis requirement of 10 in just a minute or two. If you're later in the game, you should have already bumped into metal slimes, which of course, traditionally will be the fastest way to level, especially in post-game, and I plan to make a guide about it in the future, so stay tuned for that in the coming days. But that is pretty much my advanced synthesis guide on how to create your very own A-rank overkilling machine, everyone. I've worked a lot on creating a helpful and clear synthesis overview, so I really hope it's a clear and understandable one, but please share your tips and hints about it for me in the comments below, what you would like to see on it in the future or what you'd change if you could, and I will do my best to process all the incoming information and perfect the synthesis formula for future monster guides. Also, if you would like to see other synthesis guides for certain monsters, do let me know below and I will be working on them in the future, so tell me your favorite monster choices you'd like to see a guide for. That is it for today's video, everyone. Thank you so much for the incredible Dragon Quest love on my recent videos. I can't wait to build our DQ community further and give the franchise the attention it deserves, so definitely a long road ahead of us, but a really fun one at that. Hopefully it is needless to say then, but if you like Dragon Quest and you would like to see more DQ content in the future, make sure to like and subscribe, as I will not only make more content for Dragon Quest Monsters, but I also plan to make more for Dragon Quest X, the MMORPG, and other future Dragon Quest titles. Thank you for watching, everyone, enjoy Dragon Quest Monsters, and I'll see you all the next time.